Welcome everyone to Chats with Charnie. Thank you so much for returning to the channel. If you have not already, please click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. This week's topic comes from an episode that we did not too long ago about what is a consultant? What does being a consultant entail? And as you know, that comes from my 3 years as being a consultant. And my most recent experience comes from a company called MAKOSI. Today we have MAKOSI representative Bhavir with us to tell us a bit more about who is MAKOSI. So welcome Bhavir to Chat with Charnie. It's so great to have you here. Please tell us more about yourself, your position at MAKOSI, and how long you've been there.
Thanks, Chanel. Guys, as you heard, my name is Bhavir. I am a project manager at MAKOSI, but that's not where I started. I completed my articles at Deloitte in 2020, and then I qualified as a chartered accountant, started at MAKOSI as a senior audit consultant in January 2021, and then joined the internal team as a project manager later last year in around September.
Awesome. So, Bhavir, you've been with MAKOSI since 2021, January 2021. Tell us a bit more about who is MAKOSI and what makes MAKOSI different from a public accounting firm.
So it's a bit of a loaded question because MAKOSI is many things to many different people. To our clients, we're a variable workforce implementation company. So we help our clients scale up and scale down as they go through their seasonal fluctuations during the year. For example, US busy season, or even the UK has their own sort of busy season. So when they need to bring on more staff to assist them during these times, we provide them with the staff. For our consultants, we're a company that allows you to get onto the global stage much quicker than you'd be allowed to in any other environment. We give you this opportunity to deal with companies across the globe and in different continents, dealing with different types of industries and that. So MAKOSI definitely is a company that does so much for so many different people, and it depends on from which perspective you're looking at what the company is.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bhavir, for that answer. You said that you're a variable workforce, or MAKOSI focuses on being a variable workforce. Tell us something. Does MAKOSI only offer temporary employment contracts because of this variable workforce method and work style that you have, or are there permanent positions within the company as well?
Yeah, so we offer both, actually. So there are consultants who actually want to just come in and get that short-term international exposure before they enter the South African market. And that's something that we definitely do offer. We do also offer permanent contracts, but not unlike any industry, you kind of got to prove yourself within this industry. It's very unique, very different from your normal public accounting firm. Like I said before, it's not something where you can just enter and, you kind of just like doing your 3 years of articles or your 3 years internship or whatever. You kind of come in and we give you the opportunities from the get-go to show yourself as an audit senior. So while you're going through the process with us, if you're an absolute rock star, you're definitely going to be offered a permanent contract and a permanent opportunity. But yeah, most of our contracts do start off as a short-term contract. Like I said, some people do like this. And as you go through your short-term contract process, and that it is not difficult at all to get a permanent contract here with us. It is quite easy. We've just gone through the process now with a bunch of guys who have completed their short stint, which was January to April.
Okay, awesome. And that applied to myself as well, where I also started in MAKOSI in January 2021, and not long after I started, I was offered a permanent position. So that was, I loved it. I loved being a part of MAKOSI, being a part of #Team MAKOSI. And Bhavir, since I started and since both of us started, the company has grown exponentially in terms of the company itself, the internal divisions, but also the amount of consultants that have been lining around the block to join MAKOSI. Tell us what makes MAKOSI stand out so much, or what is it that you offer your consultants that makes people want to join this company so badly?
Yeah, it's actually crazy you mentioned how quickly we've grown, because when I started with you in January 2021, you'll remember we were such a small group. And the internal team was like tiny. There were probably like about 10 people running this company at the time. And currently we're over 100 people that are now part of this internal team. Just that's how quickly we've grown. And in terms of consultants, we've also exponentially grown, like you said. And I actually joined the internal team because of that. this need to have people on board internally just to help scale up the company, and it was supposed to be temporary. And as the need kept on growing and growing and growing, eventually I just decided, okay, let me join on full time and help this company scale and grow. And I've just been able to learn so much from it. And the reason why Makosi has just grown so exponentially is because of the demand. And again, I'm going to go to client and consultant, right? From a client perspective, every single client in the audit industry has this growth ceiling because they've taken on a certain amount of staff and they can only service a certain amount of clients of their own. And when it comes to busy season and this demand increases, and COVID really impacted that sort of when demand comes, they can't really scale up quick enough to actually give their clients the service that they need. So then they struggle, and then they're putting their own staff under pressure. And as we know, the US has just gone through that great resignation period. So we were able to step in and kind of say, here's the solution. Let us help you get to the point where you can shatter that growth ceiling, go forth, get more clients, get more sales, drive your own business forward, and take us with you almost. At the same time, on the consultant front, in that we were able to say, look, guys, we know you guys are struggling in the South African market. I mean, there was a Business Insider article that came out not too long ago that basically said that the chartered accountant profession and the audit profession in South Africa is stagnant, and something needs to shake this up. And we were like, you know what, let's be the disruptor in this industry. And we kind of like took the chartered accountant role and we've sort of showcased it in the global stage and spotlighting the CASA designation in particular. And I can tell you the comments that we're getting from clients just about how great our guys are is amazing. And it just proves to everyone that becoming a chartered accountant in South Africa is really, really special. We're trained from day one in university right up until after we finished articles. So there's this demand that people want us to be in the global market. And that's what we're providing. We're providing that opportunity to our clients to actually scale up. And we're providing the opportunity for our own consultants to gain that experience. And it's sort of multifaceted about how quickly we actually grew. Because, I mean, you think, okay, but why would I want to join on a short-term basis with a company? Or why would I want to join a company that I'm going to work weird hours because of the time zones and that? And people have found a way to adapt to these things. And it's because of the support structures that we've created. We've tailor-made support structures specifically for our consultants to deal with whatever situations they're dealing with at that time. So now that we've just finished busy season, we had a whole bunch of support structures that were designed to actually help them cope with stress. If they were dealing with stress, maybe the longer hours or the different time zones. We have Wellness Wednesdays that actually teach them a little bit about their own health and their own body, mind, how to actually deal with these situations. And then we've also got our own internal structures that we've created where we've hired people specifically for functions that you've have never heard of in the market. For example, the journey advocates, who are there for you every step of the way. From the time that you started the company, whether you're on project or off project, this person is there to help guide you through your entire process with us. We have our engagement managers who are there on project with you to help you with the more technical side of the projects or to help you with the more professional side of it. If you're having any issues with your clients and that, and we do know that sometimes there are cultural clashes that happen, or there's certain things that we do in South Africa that it's just not done in the US or the UK, and it can cause a bit of friction just unknowingly. And these engagement managers are really there to help you sort of seamlessly enter these markets and seamlessly enter our clients. And it's definitely worked. We've seen it time and time again where projects are successfully completed and we've just exceeded every expectation of our clients. And so for that reason, and all the support structures that we've created, you can see that people are coming to us because we do have these things and they're staying with us because they're seeing it does work. I mean, and the last thing that I have to mention is our benefits are unparalleled to any other company in South Africa, or I think maybe even the world. We've got benefits that you'd only be exposed to if you were in senior management, and you can get this benefit when you start as a consultant with us.
That is true. The benefits are amazing and very rewarding when you're thinking about the long hours that you're working. I know I was a US-based client, so my hours started from 12 p.m. and sometimes went all the way till 12 a.m. depending on the the need of the client and how busy the projects were that I was on. And the benefits definitely came in handy to feel supported, to have my snacks around me, and to feel that I was valued as well as an employee. And you know what you said about chartered accountants of South Africa, standing out in the marketplace, in the global marketplace, that is absolutely true. I've seen it time and time again, where CASAs have been commended for their work ethic, the quality of work, and just for being an all-round player at these foreign institutions that we're going to, whether it's in the UK or the US. When I was in Ireland as well, South African CASAs just stood out. And it's great that you're creating a platform for them, because as you said, the market in South Africa was stagnant, and now they get to get this international exposure. And that's exactly what it is. You can put on your CV UK GOP experience, US GOP experience, working with foreign entities as well. So that's amazing. You spoke about the different divisions within MAKOSI. Tell us, what other divisions are there, or what other departments are there that potential consultants could apply to outside of just the audit secondment section?
Yeah, so I mean, at the moment, there are two mainstream divisions. It's audit, which consists of your typical audit in the different sectors. And then we've also got the transaction advisory services division. And this is a very unique creation. It is a division that basically deals with corporate finance, deals and financial due diligence. And this sort of division has been able to give chartered accountants, or even any other professional member who is part of deals and corporate finance, an opportunity to kind of get into the international market where previously they would be held back in South Africa. And I'll start off with actually describing what it is like for one of these people who have been experienced at one of the big four, or maybe even a boutique corporate finance firm where they are dealing with deals here in South Africa. We know that deals here in South Africa is quite small relative to what's happening in the US, UK, and other major financial hubs of the world. And they have never been able to get that exposure because they have been working here, and no one's really known about the quality that we can actually produce as an African country. And so we've given them this platform where they get to work with deals in the US and in the UK, mainly, where they're working on deals that are 10, 20, 50 times bigger than what they would have seen here in South Africa. And they're working with multinational companies, or through our clients, they're working on these multinational deals, and they're working on financial due diligence and really learning a lot about what the financial hubs of the world are doing. And it gives us a good exposure as a company, and for them a good exposure. But also when they come back to South Africa, they bring this level of knowledge and skill to the country, and they're able to deploy that skill in here. So it really is something that is very unique. It's very special, and it's worked. It's also grown exponentially, just like what it has. And it's a model that is constantly developing and growing. And it's gotten to the stage where now we actually are developing our own chartered accountants to go into that space. So whether you're in audit and you think, okay, well, I'd really like to try corporate finance, within South Africa, the pool of corporate finance is very small. To get into it, you have to be super brilliant, you have to be super bright, and probably at a CFA level 3. Whereas we're like, you know what, let's actually take away all of those things. We know what CAs are capable of. So let's give them the opportunity to scale up and upskill themselves into this division. And so Taz Academy has been created, which is our own in-house academy, where development training modules and that are created by the top guys within our transaction advisory services division. And they are upskilling and training audit clerks to get into their division and actually be deployed onto client to work in the corporate finance space. And the guys absolutely love it, because it's an opportunity for them to grow out of what they know. It's an opportunity for them to grow into a whole new space, maybe to get a little bit of a taste to see if that's exactly what they want, or if that's the direction that they want to go into. So Taz is definitely something that is available, and you can also apply for that. Within the company, we're growing internally as well. I mentioned that we went from being 10 people to over 100. So there's always the opportunity that if there's a position that opens up internally, that you can actually grow into that position, or you can apply for that position. Much like myself, I mean, I was a senior audit consultant, and I came in, and when I came in as a journey advocate, believe it or not. And I was actually brought on just to help the journey advocate space get a bit of structure, just to help them, like, stabilize themselves, because we were growing so rapidly, there was just not enough capacity. And eventually the need for project management was founded in that space. And, that's what I was offered. And now we have that division also that's being created, where, you have the opportunity to actually grow into different spaces in the company. And you're not just limited by us telling you you're a consultant. It all just depends on you at the end of the day. If you're proactive enough, if you are strong enough, if you are like enthusiastic enough, and you show us this and you constantly talk to us and chat to us, I mean, there's definitely scope for you to grow in this company.
And that's one of the amazing things about Makosi, is that the opportunities there are limitless because the company is growing so exponentially. These new divisions, new departments coming in, and there's so much more that you can do than just as a consultant. You can be more. And if you, like you said, if you are proactive, you can ask the questions like, hey, can I venture into this? Can I start a project into this? I've known of consultants that have been like, hey, we're seeing a gap in terms of understanding. Can we provide services to Makosi in terms of helping other consultants? And that space has been created for them. So I think what Makosi is doing for their consultants is amazing. It is unparalleled to what I've seen in other companies that I've worked for. So definitely Makosi is doing something awesome. And with that, you had said that people are coming back, and they're coming back into the SA market, that our consultants, most of the consultants are remote, if not all the consultants are remote. Does Makosi have any plans of opening up any offices? And if they do open up any offices, would consultants be required to work from that space, or would the remote option still be possible for them?
Yeah, so that's actually one of the projects that I'm currently working on. And it's something that we're definitely investigating, because as the world is opening up, companies are opening up their doors again. They're bringing their people back on, maybe not on a full-time basis, but on a hybrid working model. And we're investigating whether our hybrid working model is going to work for us. We have traditionally been a remote-based company, which means all our consultants have been working from home, and it's worked. We've developed systems, procedures, processes that have enabled our consultants to work, and we've kind of like almost, I wouldn't say perfected, but we're close to perfecting the virtual working model. That doesn't mean that, we don't want to have an office space or an office environment to provide our consultants, because there are definitely benefits to having a hybrid working model. We're all humans. We all miss that social aspect of being in an office, even if it is just for a couple of hours, meeting your co-workers, having social events, just going for lunch. So we are investigating it, and we are looking deeper into whether this is something that would work for us. And if it will work for us, it will launch. I can't really give you more information about it and that, because we're still in the exploratory phases of it. But yeah, definitely watch this space. In terms of getting everybody back to office, it's definitely not part of the agenda or the strategy of the business to have our full workforce back in the office. It wouldn't make complete sense, especially because we have been working on the virtual model. It has worked. Our clients are happy with this model. So there's no need to really reinvent the wheel or shake everything up, but to be able to provide consultants who do want to work in the office, because there are some who prefer to work in an office environment, or even just for a few days a week, or a couple hours a day, or in a week, whatever it is, to provide that opportunity to them to say, you know what, we're not just this work at home company, but you can actually come to the office when you need to, is something that we are interested in, and we are looking at it. But no, definitely we wouldn't be expecting you to be there 9 to 5 or whatever the hours might be full time in the office.
Yeah, because I know I definitely love working from home, and I've appreciated doing so for the past, 2.5 years. When I was in America about 2 years ago, Makosi was one of the companies that actually brought consultants over to the United States on a particular visa, on a J1 visa that I've also discussed on Chatz with Charnie. Is Makosi, is that possible for future consultants that will happen again? Is it currently in the works? What is Makosi's views on that?
Yeah, I mean, we've always maintained the vision and strategy of the business of having on-site, consultants, and it's largely driven by what is happening in the world right now. As I mentioned, companies are opening up their doors. That means our clients are opening up their doors also, and they're starting to slowly show their demand that they want people to be on the ground with them, working with their team so that they can effectively deploy, because their own clients are going to start opening their doors. So as the world starts to open up and COVID slowly starts to disappear, even though it feels like it's pretty much gone, it's definitely in the works that we will be able to get consultants there. At the same time, I mean, we also have to understand what's happening politically in the world at the moment with the wars that are going on, and that it is affecting visa processes. It's affecting everything in the world, because governments and that are feeling a little bit nervous or anxious about what is happening. So we're working with these processes, and we are going through the natural sort of phases of getting this going. Embassies also, they are slowly starting to open up. It's almost like they've got to relearn their processes of how to get people into a country. So as these like sort of processes that start to happen, we will also start to ramp up. But yes, it's definitely in the works.
Which is very, very exciting, because any opportunity to travel outside of your comfort zone, outside of your own space, is an amazing opportunity. And also with the support of a company behind you like Makosi, I'm sure that it's going to be an amazing and remarkable experience for anyone who ventures that way. Bhavir, as a new consultant coming into working for Makosi, what can I expect during my first week or leading up to my first week at Makosi?
Oh, so much, just so much. So I mean, we this year have had some amazing onboarding sessions. Our January onboarding session was a 2-day strong boot camp. But not like your typical, I mean, I probably said 2 days boot camp and people were like, oh my God, no, why? But not your typical sort of boot camp. It was really awesome. We actually opened up with the Soweto choir, the youth choir, and we had just this 2 days of just a really good informative session. But we as a company have never been a company of we are going to follow the norm. We fly in the face of the ordinary. We find new ways to do things. And so the way that we did our bootcamp was just so engaging. We made it so interactive. We made it so exciting for everyone to be on, that we received so much great feedback from our consultants that did join us. And then obviously from our clients, because whatever we did standardized our guys to the point where, they were able to be deployed. And even though they may have not met each other or they just started a week ago with us, they were able to deploy themselves and represent Makosi as an ambassador. So, during that first week, you're going to be exposed to so much of like really awesome stuff, whether it's onboarding with our EMs, onboarding with the Js, onboarding with your client, or it's just like the little nitty gritties, right? To get your tech stuff. So to get your laptop and to get what we call an office in a box, where we set you up to work virtually with like your keyboard, your second screen, like a mouse pad, like mouse, everything that you could possibly require in an office setting, we're going to send it to you. And then the really exciting part, I think that everybody gets excited about, and you probably would have seen it on LinkedIn, is our swag box. And as you're coming into Makosi, you're going to receive your swag box, which is just this box of really amazing branded goodies and merchandise that's going to, you'll feel like you're part of the company already before you even start. And we start our comms so early, while you're getting yourself ready to get into a company. We understand it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. You feel a bit anxious to join a new company. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen in that. So, part and parcel of what we're doing is we also, we start sending comms early, and we start like getting you comfortable with us, starting getting you comfortable with the brand, with what the company is like, what's going to happen, so that, you can kind of like start planning out your life before you even get to the company. So it's really awesome stuff. And we're still continuously developing this as we continuously develop everything at Makosi.
I know I definitely appreciated my office in a box. You basically gave me an entire office with my chair, my desk, my laptop, my second screen, my everything that I could possibly need. And then, of course, the amazing swag, the swag box that I got as well, and then continued to get throughout my time at Makosi was very appreciated. And like you said, it makes you feel like you're part of a bigger team. It makes you feel appreciated, that the hard work that you're putting in is being rewarded, not only obviously through your salary and the amazing benefits that you get, but also these little appreciation packages that we get once in a while, every quarter or so. So that was very appreciative, I think, from everyone at Team Makosi. Now, for our last question, Bhavir, Makosi has released this whole marketing campaign with the slogan, "Now there's room to grow." Tell us a bit more about what does this mean and what does it mean specifically for your consultants?
Okay, so now there's room to grow. But I've heard this come out so much. It's everywhere. It's imprinted in everyone's brain at this stage. And when I joined the company, internally, there was 1 July as a JA. Our CEO, the founder, and top leadership were actually working on this project of finding what our messaging means. What is our brand? What are we doing? And they went through a rigorous process of a couple of months to actually deep dive and figure out what is Makosi's brand, what is its message to everyone, and not target a specific group. Because in most cases, we find that companies or corporates would target their slogans and that towards their clients, because that's who matters, right? Revenue generating, that's where your money is coming from. So let's figure out a way to say, what do we mean to our clients? And Makosi was like, well, no, let's figure out what we mean to everyone. And so in this deep dive, they went through this whole process. And for our clients, we mean what I mentioned before. We shatter that growth ceiling. We allow our clients to grow beyond what their own natural capabilities would allow them to, because they can scale up, they can scale down, they can utilize our resources at a moment's notice. And as we're growing with them, we have resources that can be deployed very quickly into the environment. So they don't need to turn away business. They don't need to turn away clients of their own to say, listen, we actually don't have capacity anymore to handle this. They can actually say, bring it on, bring on more business for us. So now there's room to grow. Now there's room to grow for clients. When we look at the internal team, so where I come from as well, we have that also. Now there's room to grow. Where do you want to be? As the company is growing, there are a multitude of different positions that come into play. There's different divisions that are being created in the company. And if you're starting to find your passion lies there, you can start to grow into those divisions. And it's a very organic growth. So now there's room to grow for anybody who's within the company. Then we get to our consultants, right? And then this is the question that you asked. And for consultants have, or let's call it chartered accountants, or even accountants, or aspiring chartered accountants, whoever it might be. When you leave your company, or when you're leaving your article firm, or whatever the case might be, you kind of limited to the South African market, or what's available out there. Do you want to be a financial manager? Do you want to try and get into the deal space, which is extremely difficult? Do you want to stick around in audit? Do you want to become an accountant? Do you want to what is available out there is basically, what you go into. So you start applying for these jobs and you go for it, but you're kind of limited to what's happening in the South African market. You haven't really been exposed to anything different or anything else. And so for consultants, now there's room to grow means that we've put you on the global stage. We've taken you out of this market and we said, go out there, explore the different clients, the different industries, the different countries, the different people. And I mean, you might just think that it sounds crazy, but when I was a consultant as well, I never had the opportunity to actually go on site, but I still got exposed to that American culture, that UK culture, to the people that were there. I developed relationships. I figured out ways that they worked. I kind of taught them ways that we did things. It got to the stage where one of my assistant managers and managers of a client of mine was actually asking me to streamline their work papers, because they realize that there are better ways out there in the world than what they're doing. And this is what you get to be a part of. You get to be a part of a greater scheme or initiative where you're now taking this audit environment and you're revolutionizing it. And you think you're just one person going out into a client, but you're teaching somebody something and somebody's teaching you something. You're skill developing somebody and you're upskilling yourself at the same time. So now there's room to grow. There's room to grow for you in every aspect, whether it's professionally in trying to career enhance yourself to put something on your CV that differentiates you, or personally by developing relationships, by understanding how different cultures are in the world, and by actually just, learning. You can personally develop and grow yourself. So now there's room to grow in all aspects of your life. And that's what it means. It also comes through with our initiative. So 10,000 kids is something that's very close to our hearts in the whole company. And I'm talking about top leadership, to the consultants, to us as the internal team, to even our clients who have come forward and said, this is the best initiative we've ever seen. 10,000 kids means a lot to all of us. We're very passionate about it. And it's something that everybody is driving very, very hard. And what does that mean? Now there's room to grow for 10,000 kids. And if 10,000 kids grow, one kid just gets that opportunity to be educated from the base level foundation to higher education. They can have such an impact on their community. They can start to become the inspiration that community needs to actually grow. So by growing 10,000 kids, we're growing communities in South Africa and upskilling a whole lot of people indirectly without even knowing it. So now there's room to grow. And when we started this whole initiative, now there's room to grow just meant now there's room to grow. And slowly, it crept into our hearts and it became something so powerful that now there's room to grow is the war cry of every single Makosi employee and every single Makosi alumni. If you say now there's room to grow, there's going to be a twinkle in their eye. I can promise you that much.
Basically, now there's room to grow for everyone that's in contact with Makosi, even those who are not by, this 10,000 Kids initiative, which is an amazing initiative. What you do for a child doesn't only impact that child, impacts that family, impacts that community, impacts friends, impacts so many other people. And those people, those kids then become inspirations. And they become the Bavirs, they become the Charnels, they become, the Darren Isaacs of the community. And that is just so amazing. What you said about making, now there's room to grow for your consultants. As a previous consultant of Makosi, being in the United States, being part of a company going listed, a US company going listed on NASDAQ via SPAC, engaging with founders of huge corporations, that was something that I did on a daily basis. And it was all thanks to Makosi and the opportunities that Makosi gave me, and, seeing financial statements being published, you're like, I actually wrote the words on those financial statements, having to answer comments from the SEC. Like, those are type of things that you can feel so proud of as being as a chartered accountant. Not everybody gets that exposure. Your friends sitting maybe anywhere else in the world might not get that same experience as what you're getting. And definitely now there's room to grow meant a lot to me as I was going through that process and still does today. So I want to thank you and Makosi for all that opportunities that I got while being a consultant, and will continue to get, because someone told me once a part of Team Makosi or Makosi family, always a part of the Makosi family. Well, that is the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Bhavir, for just shedding more light on who Makosi is, what they can do for their consultants, and what they can do for their clients as well, and for the great community. I think that everyone at Makosi is doing a great job, company, and it's a wonderful company, and it's a wonderful company to work for. All of you who are considering going into the consultant life, or even into the TAS advisory space as well. So thank you so much, Bhavir, for being with us today.
Thanks, Chanel. No, it was an absolute pleasure. I really do hope that I've provided all the information. But guys, if you do have more information or questions that you need, please check out our website, www.makosi.com. You'll find everything there and our application portal.
Yes, and I'll be linking the website down in the description box, as well as a link to all the open vacancies as well. So thanks so much, guys, and I hope that you enjoyed today's video. See you next week on Chatz with Charnie. Bye.